Hello, I'm Matthew Parry, Director of SME Graduate Employment, the specialist graduate recruitment agency for small to medium sized businesses. Thank you for visiting my channel. Today I'm going to speak about undergraduate and graduate CVs. Now, I see dozens of CVs a day. They come in many different styles and there's often a big variation in quality. Over the years, I've worked with hundreds of employers and the number of people that I've placed in jobs is well into four figures. So I've got an idea about what makes a good CV and what doesn't. And these are a few tips based on my own experiences, and I hope they'll be helpful. Now, even professional CV writers don't agree on the best layout and structure. Everyone's got their own preferences, myself included, and in truth there's no right or wrong way, although there can be some variances between career types. The key thing to remember is that the CV is there to get the relevant information across to the recruiter with the aim of attracting their attention and hopefully getting an interview. So make sure it's formatted well, it's got key information on it and is relevant to the role you're applying for. Now, work experience is of huge importance. As a graduate, you may have limited work experience and it's important to make the most of what you do have. The person reading your CV will be looking to get an idea of your overall employability, not just your technical knowledge. Some students and graduates have left off work experience from this CV as it wasn't directly relevant for the job they were applying for. Believe me, that is a big mistake and one of the worst things you could do. Add all of your work experience and be proud of it. It will have given you skills and attributes, and it shows that you can turn up for work and that you have done. It shows a good work ethic. All work experience is valuable, whether it be a part-time Saturday job, voluntary work, university society work, cleaning, catering, anything else you've done. Be proud of it. And if a job's not on your CV, you can't really use it to support competency-based answers to interview questions. So if you've got a side hustle, I would also put that in your CV, but be careful not to overplay it because you don't want the employer thinking it's going to take most of your time, or that it may even progress to the stage that you leave your day job. It could give a concern about long-term commitment, but certainly put it on there because again, it will have given you a lot of skills from it. If you do have any directly related work experience, including internships or placements, that is very important and a huge advantage. So make sure that's particularly prominent. That includes things you've done in your own time or as a hobby. So for example, in marketing, if you did marketing for a university society or something like that. Now, first impressions count, so make sure you're happy with how the CV will represent you. It's one of the most important documents you will ever prepare. And if there's errors on it, it can give the impression of carelessness or lack of attention. If you're not good at spelling, use spell check or a program such as Grammarly, or ask someone to check it for you. Make sure you cover the key parts of your education, particularly if it's something that is relevant to the employer. So modules, for example, or projects. Write a bit about the aspects that are going to be most relevant to the job that you're applying for. I often hear from graduates that they've been advised by someone that the CV needs to be one page. Not true at all. I would strongly disagree. 2 pages is ideal. Whenever I see a one-page CV, I can't help but think something's missing. And when I speak with the graduates, it usually is something's been taken off to keep it at 1 page. So 2 pages, ideal. Anything more is too much, I would say, unless it's very well justified and there's things that need to be on there. But often when a CV is too lengthy, the reason's wasted space. For example, massive margins or too large font sizes, 10 or 11 is fine. Also using too much space. So for example, you listing the degree, date, course and university in 3 lines, or listing multiple modules in several lines. It can be in 1 line across the page. Unless you're going for a creative design type position, you're almost certainly not going to get judged on how artistic your CV is. So the most important thing is to get that information across that's in a clear way. I don't see any need for boxes or anything like that. They take up valuable space and make it hard to update it if you need to add something. At the end of this video, I'm going to share a link where you can go on and read a blog with the points that's been covered in this video in more detail, and you can also download a template for a CV that may be useful for you. Employment-related bullet points of key achievements are always powerful, perhaps showing something you did that had a positive effect on the business. And if these can be shown in measurable terms, for example, a percentage increase, all the better. It's a good idea to update your CV as you're going, or at least make a note of any key achievements or projects so they can be added later. Otherwise, you're going to be trying to remember everything that you did when it comes time to applying for jobs. And believe me, that's not easy. Write it in the first person, not in the third person. So you're referring to it as if you've written it, not as if someone else has written it for you. I know a lot of other recruiters, and without exception, all of them agree with me on this. There's no need to put national insurance number, photograph, or reference details, or even to put reference details are available on request. I would put your location, but there's no need for your full address. And if you've got your own transport, mention it. For emails, I wouldn't use your university email. Firstly, you're not going to have access to it at some point. And secondly, it looks a lot more professional if you've got your own one. It's easy to set up, but make sure it is a professional email address. Some people have put daft things, jokey things, or even worse on there. And just remember, it's the employer's going to be, potential employer's going to be looking at it. You want it to look professional. When you're putting work experience on, make sure dates are added, including months. This is very important as it shows how long you were in those jobs. For example, it could say 2019 to 2020. That could be anything from 2 to 24 months. But if it says January 2019 to June 2020, you can see that it's 18 months. And also make sure that you add the year that you finished or are due to finish your degree. Some CVs have a hobbies and interests section, and there's a debate about whether they should be on there. I would say yes, I like them. It's something a bit different, and it can sometimes, if you're lucky, help to open conversations with the recruiter if there's something in common. If it's something that's related to the job itself, then even better. If you don't want to have this section on there, that's not a problem. It's optional. When you save and send a CV, I would always recommend using the Save As feature and name the file, even if it's just your name, rather than just clicking Save. It doesn't look very professional. It might seem like a little thing, but it looks a lot better when it arrives as an attachment with your name on it, and it also makes it easier for the recruiter to find your details amongst all the other applications. Very important as well to get a summary on your CV that covers why you are a good match and why you're interested. Now, there is another video about that I've prepared, so that will go into it in a bit more detail. So I hope you found this video useful. You can go to my website, the address is at the end of the video, and find a blog with a summary of the points that have been raised here, and also several other blogs that give advice and hints and tips on the application and interview process. There's also job adverts on there, so for undergraduates and graduates, permanent jobs, internships, and you can also see recommendations from other students and graduates that have helped. If you are looking for work or looking to discuss this in more depth, please do get in contact. Again, the details are at the end of this video. Thank you.